following on from the other videos that I've made that go into certain parts of my story, I'm now going to talk about another part of it that had an effect on how I would come to see my anger. And although this wasn't the moment that defined how I would see my anger, it definitely played a part. And so when I was around 17, there was a moment when I got angry because something was going on, and I think at the time this was justified. But my father ended up telling me not to get angry. He said, don't get angry, don't get angry. And at the time, I'd started reading books on Buddhism, and I think I'd said to my father that now nothing bothers me and I don't get angry anymore and all this kind of stuff. So I had what could be described as pseudo enlightenment, because also at the time I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to judge. So all these things, all these ideals, I ended up trying to embody. But of course I hadn't done any of the work really at that point, so it was just an act. But anyway, back to the main point here. And so I was told not to get angry. And so this played a part in me believing that it was wrong. It was wrong for me to get angry. And before this, so many, many years before this, when I was hit and when I was verbally put down, obviously all these things played a part in me being angry and me carrying a lot of rage and hate. And so naturally, and taking into account what was also going on after that point as well, it was normal for me to be angry and to carry a lot of anger. But due to the fact that I was living with people, so my parents, who were pretty much shut down themselves, and of course they exploded now and then with their own anger and their own rage, but due to how unaware they were, me getting angry, at least for my father, me getting angry was something that was wrong and bad. Instead of, well, I'm being violated here, I'm being walked over, so naturally I'm going to get angry. And for many years, a lot of my anger would end up being repressed and suppressed. And so I would internalize it, and I would often end up feeling very flat and passive and depressed and down and tired. And so I had very little energy at certain points because of all this energy that was stored up within me. So what I really needed at this point was for my father to say, Oliver, your anger is not bad, and if you are angry, then perhaps we need to look at why you're angry. Perhaps me as your father, I need to look at how I've been treating you that has played a part in you being angry. Because, as I said, all the moments I had been violated through being physically hit or neglected or put down in some way, then of course I was going to carry a lot of rage, a lot of anger, a lot of hate. How else would I be? All those things were there to protect me, to let me know that I was being walked over and that I needed to do something to protect myself, to make sure that it didn't happen again. But of course, through being the child, and there was obviously a power imbalance, I couldn't do a great deal. So when I was being hit, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't fight back because being so small and powerless compared with my father, what could I have done as a 6-year-old or however age I was? I couldn't do anything, of course. And so most likely my father also had an unhealthy relationship with his anger as well, because although at times he was very passive, at other moments he would explode and he would completely lose it. So although he could be said that he lacked backbone, he did have moments when he was full of fire. And so most likely his early conditioning was also that anger was bad, and so he passed this on to me. He wasn't able to model healthy behaviour in this sense. And it has taken me a long time to feel comfortable with my anger, to accept it, to acknowledge it, and to look at what I need to do. Perhaps if I'm feeling angry, to look at why am I angry? What do I need to do here? Am I being walked over? Am I ignoring my needs? Do I need to speak up? Do I need to take care of whatever needs taken care of? But just to go back, I remember when I first started to get in touch with my anger, and I think this was when I was around 24 or 5, something like that. And I remember there was a lot going on in my life. I think this was shortly after my father passed on, and I ended up feeling very angry, lots of anger, and I was just getting worked up about small things, and I would often explode. And at this point, because of the conditioning that I received, I felt guilty and ashamed, and I felt like I was betraying my father. So even though he wasn't here, of course, my inner father was there, and I felt like I would lose his love and that I was betraying him. And I remember I exploded during a social situation, and this was kind of justified, but it was out of character for me. And I thought, what is going on for me? Who am I? And so this was then a moment when I started to look deeper and to develop a better relationship with my own anger, and to get more connected to my body. So if you can see that you believe that your anger is bad or wrong, then please know that this is not the case. Your anger is there to inform you that something isn't right. It could be a sign that something from your past has been triggered, but this feeling, and along with rage as well, is not bad. So if you can see that you carry a lot of rage, repressed rage and anger, then you may need to reach out for external support so that you can gradually start to integrate this side of your being and to step into your power. Because all the time you ignore this side of you, you will be very watered down and you won't be in your power. So please don't suffer in silence. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.